Live?
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us today. We hope everyone had a wonderful 4th of July and a nice long weekend. It was a great one for us, got a little travel in. So today we are going to discuss our 11 healthy habits that change our life. Okay, do you often find yourself saying I can't or I won't instead of saying I can't or I will? I feel like it's very easy for most of us to fall into that trap. I can't get up any earlier to wake up. I can't go to bed earlier.
I don't have enough time.
I don't have enough time. Nobody has enough time. But really, we get it. I mean, it's very easy to fall into that trap, but we're hoping that today can help you change that. I was reading this morning a post by a lifestyle medicine doctor that I follow, and I just kind of felt like it went like hand in hand. He says, waking up at 5 a.m. to work out is hard. Saying no to fast food is hard. Lifting heavy is hard. But you know what's harder? Joint pain from being overweight. Health issues from eating bad. Being frail and weak. So it just really, I mean, it should hit home, and that can be, you can kind of enter in anything in those little pockets. But you have to understand the benefit is so worth it. And once you get into a habit, right?
Oh, habits.
Then it sticks. So, like I said, today we are going to share our 11 healthy habits that have changed our lives. Now, this won't necessarily be yours. You can pick and choose what you want, but the goal is to make your own list that works for you. And when you have your list, you got to stick with it.
Yeah, and habits are funny, right? Like whether it's, like they say 21 days to make a habit, 90 days to create a healthy lifestyle change. You know, whether it's 50 days or 500 days, it really doesn't matter. It's going to be different for everybody, but you still have to put the work in. So whether it's day 1, day 10 or more, but you just got to get started somewhere, whether you're like somebody that likes incremental change, small change, or you want to go all in and say, you know what, I'm going to adopt all 11 of these awesome ideas and I'm going to start doing it tomorrow. That would be pretty aggressive, but that works for some people. So,
Right.
yeah, find what works for you.
And be patient with yourself. Be patient and understanding. Not every day is perfect. Sometimes we have a few steps forward and a step back, and that's kind of the name of the game. And like Ryan just said, it takes a while for change. So you have to be patient with yourself. If we get a little too pushy, or you're going to end up quitting, saying this isn't working, I give up. We do not give up, okay? Persist. All right, so let's go in. And if you have questions along the way, please put them in the comments, because at the end we will cover all questions. Okay, so starting off, our number 1, and this is just number 1 through 11, not in any order, but number 1, strength training at least 4 days per week. So if you listen to us talk before, you understand, or you know that we really value muscle. It is so crucial for health. Not to mention, it's our first sign of aging, and we start to lose muscle mass at age 30. Really, when we're an age that we're not thinking about losing muscle mass, just it's happening. So to preserve that muscle mass is so key. To work on it, to strength train is so imperative. And not to mention, right, I mean, what else does muscle do for us?
It is look, it's a metabolically active tissue, so it's going to do a much better job regulating, stress. Let's just say what it is, right? What the body deals with every day, day in and day out. It is a lot more work to maintain muscle mass. There's no doubt about it. It requires a lot of input. So it's a constant battle of how do I gain, how do I maintain, and how do I not lose? Like Lisa said, when you start to break down and lose that muscle mass starting in our 30s and our 40s, there's noticeable changes. Visibly, aging has started to really get a hold of you. So it's those that maintain lean muscle mass will live a health, generally, right? The science supports this, live a healthier, longer health span and a lifespan. And they most likely will not have the issues that most people encounter later in life, which a lot of it's a mobility concern, right? That's a huge one. You trip, you fall, you're over the age of 80 or whatever it might be, just call it over 65. The prognosis is rather poor.
Sure. And also on top of that, go on with what Ryan was just saying, like our joint pain or our cartilage decreases. But if we have more muscle, say we have more muscle in our quads, our hamstrings, like around our legs, supporting our knees, guys, the muscles are going to take the grunt of it, not our joints. And that's the goal. And also healthy hormones.
For sure.
Muscle mass helps hormones. So if you think, oh, I'm aging and my testosterone's going down, well, it could also be because your muscle mass is going down. So let's find the root cause of the problem rather than just treating, the symptom.
So many.
Yes, so really important to get your strength training in. It is a great rule of thumb, 4 days a week. Guys, this can be done in your home, in your kitchen, in your garage. It does not have to be at a
YouTube's a
gym.
great resource.
YouTube is wonderful for at-home exercises.
And if you really are thinking about like 4 days a week, maybe 2 days, or definitely at least one is a lower body, but maybe 2 days, because again, it's that bigger muscle groups. It's so much importance in our glutes, to our hamstrings, quads, legs. I mean, everything down there. So it's really important that we work those muscles.
Right. And I'm sure we all have someone that we know that works out all the time, but really all they do is cardio. We call those, the cardio junkies.
Yeah.
I used to be one way back in the day. We love that runner's high. It feels so good to really the heart rate up, and that is great. But not all the time, because also with that can affect our hormones negatively. That can actually break down muscle because, right, we're just burning through it, right? So you have to be careful. And if you do know someone like that, help educate them, and maybe send them this episode. Okay, so strength training at least 4 days a week. Okay, next is infrared sauna. Now we have a far infrared sauna, which they both have great benefits, but some of those benefits are improved cardiovascular health, endurance, sports performance, improved cellular health, and disease prevention. And a big one also is reduction in toxins.
There you go.
And I don't want you to just think of like toxins like, oh, drugs and alcohol and that kind of stuff. I mean, daily toxins, microplastics. Are you drinking out of a plastic water bottle? Do you eat out of plastic Tupperware? I mean, microplastics are in everything, and more studies are coming out showing that it's in our food, everything that we eat. It's crazy. So that's just one example of a toxin that we constantly need to detox, right?
No doubt about it. Microplastics are part of our arterial plaques now in heart disease. I mean, they're in our body. It's crazy. There's a lot of things that would contribute to toxin load throughout the day. Mold and mildew exposures.
Yes.
Diesel, any exhaust fumes, fertilizer, pesticides, those types of things. So yeah,
right.
plenty of things that you would want to do for reasons why you would want to use a sauna if you can. I get it, it's not easy. Everybody has a sauna in their house, and it's a significant investment, but certainly there's probably a place nearby, a gym or some type of health facility that would have a sauna, and that might be part of your plan.
Yes, more and more are popping up,
Yep.
just studios that you can get a pass, buy a 20-pack, tap in there 1 to 2 times a week. I mean, it's better than nothing. And again, heating from the inside out and getting that deep sweat is so important. Okay, so there goes our sauna use. If you do have access to a sauna, try at least 4 days a week. Okay. All right. And going along with sauna is also ice bath, cold water submerge. This can also be cold water in your shower. This has so many.
Sucks.
It does. It hurts.
It sucks so bad.
It hurts. But again,
Feels amazing when you're done.
Right. And instead of saying, no, I can't, because I was one of those, because I hate cold water. And I do one regularly, an ice bath regularly.
Yeah,
and
she does it more than I do.
Right. So great for immune support.
Yep.
Great for pain relief and recovery, weight loss, because that shiver that you get at the end.
For sure.
And the biggest thing that I want to hit home with is the mood support. I mean, it helps reduce depression, which is so prevalent right now that it's sad. But there's things out there that can really help. So again, if you don't have a cold water plunge or someplace to submerge, if you live somewhere that has cold water oceans, if you have a pool. I mean, obviously we're Florida in the summer, our pool doesn't work, but pool in our winter, it works. Just get yourself in there, 1 to 3 minutes, or a shower. At the end, I'm not saying you have to take your whole nice shower in cold water, but at the end, let the water just run on you for a couple minutes. Again, it's not comfortable, but we were made to do hard, uncomfortable things. I tell our kids that all the time.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, so yes. So ice bath, cold water submerge, cold shower. Oh, also stress relief, and better sleep hits both of those. Okay, next, sunlight in the morning.
Sure.
And I know you're probably sitting there thinking, and if you are, give me a hands up, a thumbs up. But I don't have access to sunlight in the morning, or by the time I get to work, it's dark when I get to work, and then I'm inside. Yes, get it. It happens, and we'll give you some tips on what to do. But really, why we want sunlight in the morning, it improves our sleep patterns, sets our circadian rhythm and hormone production, especially with the vitamin D.
Exactly.
Vitamin D is a hormone.
Yep.
Helps regulate our sleep-wake cycles, which Ryan always talks a lot about it.
You nailed it. Exactly. Yep.
It also reduces stress and supports mental health. So if you are able to get sunlight in the morning, no sunglasses, right? Let all that sunlight come in. It's so important. And if you are one of those that does not have access, of course, always making sure you're supplementing with vitamin D, but also there's red light.
Yeah, there's light. I can't think of many cases where somebody would, there's times of the year in certain climates and geographical locations.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, if you're at work, you can say, hey, look, I'm going to step out real quick. I'll be far more productive when I get back.
Right.
It's only 15 minutes.
I know.
It's not a lot of time. It really isn't.
Right. Have you ever noticed though, like say you do that at work, you're at work and you're feeling so sluggish, and then you just go stand outside in the sun. All it takes is like 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
And you feel so much better.
For sure.
Like I know it because I know how it feels.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was our sunlight in the morning. Do your best. It doesn't have to be right when you wake up, but it really does help if you can. And like for me, I get up when it's dark. I go to the gym when it's dark, so I don't get to get my sunlight, in my eyes until a little later, but I make sure it happens. Okay, next, we have walking or movement after meals. This is so, so important. Are you one of those people that eats a big meal and then says, oh, I'm so full, I gotta lay down? Don't do that.
Don't do that.
It's so bad. So it's not just bad for digestion, which you're probably thinking that's where I'm going. So what I'm talking about is we eat and our blood glucose rises, right? It does in response to food. Depending on what you eat, depends on how high it goes. But that blood glucose, it's circulating in our blood, and we really don't want it there. We want it to be used. So if we move our bodies, our muscles are using that blood glucose, okay? So crucial. Yes, helps with digestion. So example, we try to take, we always take an after dinner walk. Sometimes, breakfast and lunch, we're basically on our own, but you always have to figure out some way to move your body after. Whether maybe you're in your office and you just ate, stand up, do 10 to 30 squats, get that blood pumping, get the muscles pulling in that glucose. So extremely important. But not to mention, say you have your 3 meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and you are able to squeeze in like a mile. That's 3 miles that you just added onto your day, where a mile is not that big of a deal. So you're not really thinking you're doing that much. So, dance in your kitchen with your kids after dinner. I don't care what it is, but move your body. Do not sit down.
Yeah, totally. And it's funny because when people start doing it, they say, wow, I would think that's probably one of the more impactful things somebody could start doing easily, that maybe they're like this. As soon as you start walking or moving after a meal, you won't stop. You won't go back to sitting after a meal. Right.
Yeah, feels so great. And especially if if you have diabetes, just think about the added benefit that this has to your blood glucose levels. Yeah. You will notice a change. Okay, number 6, we have protein. Eat your protein. Okay, 1 gram per pound of ideal body weight, lean body mass. There are calculators that you could just quickly Google and plug your information in. So if you're someone that weighs 200 pounds, but really you should be 150, you're going to be eating more towards the 150. But protein is crucial. We already went back, we talked about the muscle, right? So this kind of goes a little bit hand in hand with that. But to build muscle, we also have to have adequate protein. Protein also keeps us full. So have you ever had a meal and you eat it, and then maybe you feel hungry again 30 to 60 minutes later? There's no satiety. Protein helps us feel full, so it's so important.
Yeah, and it's like protein is also the building blocks. We say, the amino acids of the protein are building blocks, right? But they're the building blocks of not just muscle. They're building blocks of hormones that you've talked about, how important they are, of course. Neurotransmitters. So most of people know the serotonin and the dopamine. Enzymes for breaking down food, just the development of everything, cartilage, nerves, tendons, ligaments, so it's important stuff. It really is. And our dietary recommendations have been inadequate. So, they're just there to essentially make us survive, where we're trying to talk about these things. The things we're talking about today are really about thriving, really about being and feeling your possible best. So.
Right. Yeah, we're not a malnourished person that is just trying to get by.
Yeah,
we are trying to live a long, healthy life.
Correct.
And that's what these goals are. So if you're going to track anything, track your protein.
Yeah.
Make sure you hit your protein goals, and then your carbohydrates and fats will fall into play. Obviously, if you're doing weight loss, watch your calories. Even for maintenance, we kind of have to know where our calories at. So it's always important to track. So grams of protein. I mean, personally, I get about 150 to 160 grams of protein a day, and I weigh 130-ish pounds. So I do go over. I do go over, but it works for me. I mean, I feel great. I'm able to build and retain muscle. Okay, yeah. So eat your protein.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, moving along. Number 7, I just combined these two because there's so many things that you can avoid with food, but really the two main ones that we highlight are no seed oils or added sugars. Seed oils meaning like canola oil, soybean oil, sunflower oil, safflower oil. They're in everything, which is it's very difficult. And no added sugars. But starting off with the oils, if you notice or if you haven't noticed, start reading. Make sure you're reading labels. I don't know if you are label readers, but you've got to read everything because what it says on the front is just marketing. You have to know really what's in it. And mostly everything has got some kind of seed oil in it, and I hate it. I mean, there's times I love shopping at Whole Foods, but like I was just there yesterday, and I don't remember exactly what I picked up, but it was one of the 365 Whole Foods brand, and I had to buy these gluten-free Oreos making my mother-in-law cake. And I was reading the comparison of the 365 cheaper brand to the other gluten-free brand. And the 365 had canola oil. And I just don't understand. Like, it is known. But the problem is, the number one reason why you should avoid seed oils is they are high in omega-6s. Now, we all hear about omega-3s, like, omega-3 fatty acids, like in our factor 4. They're high in omega-6s, and we need to have a balance, a ratio between our omega-6 to 3. Do you know that ratio off the top of your head? Mm-mm. I feel like it's like
I don't want to miss
1. I know. I feel like it's like 1 to 4. I cannot remember right now. But there's a ratio of your omega-6 to omega-3. And the problem is we're not getting enough omega-3, and we're getting way too much omega-6, which causes so much inflammation in our body. So that's like the number one thing, besides the fact that seed oils are highly processed. They strip it of nutrients and antioxidants. Biggest things. And then obviously we all know added sugars. Sugar's the enemy. It really is. Now, I'm not talking about a piece of fruit or something maybe made with dates. Those are all like,
natural sources.
Yeah, natural sources that you still need to have in moderation. Again, moderation is key. But the added sugars in anything and everything we're eating, it adds up, and it is so inflammatory and causes so many diseases. So again, if you're going to avoid any food groups, avoid those seed oils and avoid added sugars. If you're wondering out there, well, what oils should I focus on? Focus on olive oil, avocado oil, and coconut oil. Those are the best. And there are brands that use all those. All right, number 8. Work out with your partner or spouse. Helps increase joy and relationship. So obviously this is very personal to us, but we don't get to work out all the time together. Schedules don't allow. But when we do, we enjoy it so much. And it's just a different thing of like being together and hanging out together and pushing each other. It really helps build relationship, and it really does fill us with so much joy. So if you have a partner or a spouse or a best friend, get out there and move your bodies with them. I mean, even your kids, right? It can help your relationship. Absolutely. I promise you.
And you find that it's a little bit more competitive and fun, like at the same time. It's a fun, competitive spirit, right? And there's accountability. Like if one person in the household, just taking a spousal relationship as an example, if one person's committed to health goals and the other wants no part of it, it tends to be, I don't know what it is, but it's out of ignorance or just doesn't really believe in what's going on, and it can be a very difficult.
Yeah, it causes friction in the relationship. I mean, you might be out there thinking like, yes, I try so hard to be healthy. My husband wants nothing to do with it. You know that there's tension and friction there. So work on doing things together. It really helps your relationship. Okay, this is a big one. And I have some quotes here for it. So this is community. Okay, you need to have a sense of community. It is so crucial to health and longevity. I'm going to read you first. I have 2 of them. So first from the Surgeon General. He did a whole article on loneliness. Loneliness is far more than just a bad feeling. It harms both individual and societal health. It is associated with a greater risk of cardiovascular disease, dementia, stroke, depression, anxiety, and premature death. The mortality impact of being socially disconnected is similar to that caused by smoking up to 15 cigarettes a day, and even greater than that associated with obesity and physical inactivity. I mean, if that doesn't hit home to you guys, you have got to understand you have to have a sense of community. And then Dr. Mark Hyman, says this, and if you don't know Dr. Mark Hyman, he is a wonderful resource, great to follow. But he says, the power of community to create health is far greater than any physician, clinic, or hospital. And now, this is coming from a doctor. So you really have to understand this, how important the sense of community is. And I mean, you might be out there wondering, well, where do I begin? I don't know what to do. It is hard because you kind of have to put yourself out there. I mean, we have a gym. Our gym is a very nice sense of community. They also do monthly or so, they do these get-togethers. You might meet at the beach for a barbecue or whatnot. So that's one that really helps us. But I mean, you can join a book group, a reading club, right? There's so many clubs out there in your neighborhood that you probably don't know about. This could also be joining for kids, a youth group, or for you, a church or a temple or any type of religious structure, just something that brings you together with people to communicate with and talk with.
Amen.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
So important. All right, we're getting there. Number 10, water with electrolytes first thing in the morning. Now, of course, water with electrolytes is always great, but for us, we love first thing in the morning because you think about it, you've just been sleeping, hopefully, 7 to 9 hours. So your body is on the verge of dehydration. So instead of just waking up and carrying on, you need to hydrate your body. It has literally been for 7 to 9 hours without any fluid. But also, Ryan, you want to emphasize on why electrolytes? Why not just chug a big glass of water?
Yeah, and it comes back to that one too, where we need to avoid sugar. So let's not get too focused on the effect of sodium. I understand that sodium has been recommended to be restricted in certain individuals, but for the most part, it's really the sugar that is to blame. The kidneys are it wreaks havoc on the kidneys. As far as the sodium, potassium, magnesium, these are your main electrolytes. This balance is so important. There's a homeostatic sort of balance in our cells where there's even a sodium potassium pump. And so the ratio of electrolytes is super important. And stay tuned for later this week, and you'll see that LiveGood rolls out their new LiveGood hydration amplifier, which is cool. But right now, with electrolytes first thing in the morning, it's so important right away, to at least get that 20 to 30 ounces of water in, and then have some electrolytes with that as well. I think that's it's a great way to get your day going and to provide your muscles, your nerves, your energy. It supplies, basically those electrolytes are what balances our water in our cell.
Yes. Yeah, and
it's so important.
That and just hydration is so key. And you might be thinking, well, I can't drink that much, and I'm going to be in the bathroom every 20 to 30 minutes. Your body will adapt. If you're not used to drinking that much water, yes, you will be taking bathroom breaks more often. But again, your body balances out. And also, just starting off with trying to consume a lot of water, you will feel full. So that will also subside a little bit. But if you ever are out there thinking I need a snack, I'm hungry, what's going on? I just ate, just drink some water, just tapping into the hydration.
Yeah, sure.
So, okay, but honestly, electrolytes first thing in the morning, key. Your body is dehydrated when you wake up, you need it. And our last one, number 11, is daily supplementation. Now, obviously, we're LiveGood, we're a supplement company, but we didn't just start this for,
We didn't start supplementing with the creation of the company. Let's put it that
Correct,
way. We've
correct.
been supplementing for years and years and years prior to LiveGood.
Yes, which led us to wanting to have our own,
For sure.
our own supplement company. But it is so crucial. So, I mean, obviously the eliminating nutrient deficiencies, that's our multivitamin, our magnesium, our D3, our decreasing inflammation. We are all burdened with unwanted inflammation, whether it's present in our skin, in our joints, in our mood, in our, our gut. I mean, crazy. So factor 4 is our potent anti-inflammatory. And then loading our body with antioxidants. I don't have everything out here today, but our super greens and super reds. so high in antioxidants and phytonutrients.
So is coffee, so is our
So
collagen.
exactly. I mean, there's so much. And then we talked a lot about protein and muscle. I mean, this is one of our protein powders. We also have a chocolate whey.
Yep.
Essential aminos, building blocks of protein. I mean, the list goes on. If you have not checked out our products, go to livegood.com. You will find all of our products, all of our information. We do have learn more sections with some information, as well as some of them have training videos, which can always be found also on our YouTube channel. So, I mean, it's crucial to health. Again, the goal is to thrive, not just survive. You want to feel good and thrive. You want to live a long, healthy life, right?
Absolutely.
You want to increase your health span. You've got to take your supplements.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
And you need to also know what you're taking, why you're taking it, when to take it, that kind of thing, how to take it. So part of what we're trying to do as well. So when you go to the website, learn more, you can email us to ask questions. It's not something where you just all of a sudden start taking them all at the same time. And that, so make sure you know what the purpose of supplementing is.
Yeah. But the greatest thing, I mean, I'm always here for questions. If you've been emailing me, I get back to you guys within 24 hours. If you haven't, ask me questions. Okay, so before we answer questions, again, make sure you subscribe because you don't want to miss any of this information that we put out there. And also leave us comments. If you're not just asking questions, comments, like us, whatever it is. It really helps us learn more from you and helps us share our knowledge.
Yeah.
All right, let's go into some questions. I know you've been picking through some.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I actually have, but yeah, we're moving. Let's go back up. Love that all of these people joining are saying how much they appreciate it. This is awesome. LiveGood product coming out. Yes.
Yeah, and while he's looking too, also Ryan did mention that we have our hydration amplifier launching. Should be this week.
Yep,
so
this week.
Our next Monday, our live will be all about hydration and our hydration amplifier. So again, make sure you subscribe so you do not miss that one. This has been a product we've been waiting for.
And this, I think, so Profits with Patrick, thank you for a lot of your commentary. I appreciate it. I think you're responding to a question earlier about sugar and honey. And I was just looking for that one actually. But yeah, I mean, look, sugar in natural source, here we go, is pure. How is pure raw? Honey good? So yeah, I mean, natural sources of sugar are beneficial. We need sugar in our cells. We absolutely do. Just to give you a quick story, I was walking out of our local gym one day, and they had a pile of Skittles on the front tank. I'm like, Skittles? What in the world with Skittles? And one of the women next to me is like, well, we need sugar after we work out. And I said, yeah, but not in the form
Skittles.
of Skittles. Like, come on. Like, are you kidding me? With all these synthetics and artificial dyes and everything, you name it, it's disgusting. No, you're right. We need sugar. There's no doubt about it. But you don't need it in the quantities we're consuming in society.
Right.
You don't need it in every single packaged processed food. So get it from your blueberries. Get it from a few strawberries, half a banana. Get it from your honey.
Yes.
But again,
yes,
in
moderation. Yeah, there are some, sugars out there that are better than others. But bottom line, you don't want to overdo it. And when it's added into every single thing, it's very easy to overdo.
Yeah, and same with the salt conversation. You need to be careful with the salts you choose. You want to use high quality salts. I mean, look, even like Himalayan sea salt, they're still using C4 to detonate and blow it up. So there are trace elements of synthetic explosive, believe it or not. I saw that there was a test done on that. So that's not what I'm getting into, but like, know your source, know what you're taking, try to get this highest quality of whatever it is that you're consuming. And I get it, budget is a concern. Are you kidding me? Like, you just went to like Whole Foods and it was ridiculous, a few $100. I just said, this is absurd. The food costs are absurd. But thankfully, when it comes to sourcing high quality ingredients and dietary supplements, LiveGood is absolutely changing the game.
What are you doing?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Jumping in. All right.
But I do think sodium's gotten a bad rap for what sugar has done. I really do think that.
Right. Well, exactly what we have on here.
If you went so hard and restricted all aspects of sodium, I mean, you're talking about your electrolyte balance being completely out of whack.
Here's just another one. Drop 10 pounds, taking reds, greens in the morning, intermediates, collagen with lean twice a day, intermittent fasting for 16 hours as well. Sugar and alcohol cravings way down. Amazing, right on, amazing. And we also did, last Monday, we did intermittent fasting. So make sure you, again, subscribe so you can check that out. But yeah, Great work. Keep it up. I mean, success stories, guys. What happened?
I don't know.
Oh, I need to get rid of it.
Yeah, just yeah.
Success stories are amazing.
Where are you going? What are you
I
doing?
don't know. Okay. Did you see any other?
What are
I don't know what's
doing?
happening.
All right,
All
guys,
right.
we'll drop off here.
Yeah, not many other questions. Some great comments. Will this list be available? Yes. So this live is always on our YouTube channel. Someone asked, will it be available? It is always on our YouTube channel. So make sure you flag it. Make sure you share it. And, you know, just to help you guys out, I'm just going to run through the list real quick. So
one more thing here,
okay.
too. Kelly, what's up? Nice to see you. Thank you for this. I'm loving the children's gummies. Is it possible to eat too many? Left out, they are so good. Moderation, I'm sure. Guys, look at the label. You will see that there is sugar. We unavoidable in this case. We chose a good quality sugar source. I take this as an opportunity to educate your children, educate those around you. First thing they want to do is look at the label and say, well, there's 4 grams of sugar. Yeah, there is. That's not the end of the world as long as you're not getting a lot of excess sugar in other foods. So inform, educate. Great chance to talk to your 12-year-olds like mine right now is now looking at labels for sugar. I mean, doesn't know every ingredient, doesn't have any idea what the rest of the stuff is really talking about, but sugar, knows sugar. And so just making good informed choices. Thank you, Kelly. If you're using it for adult dosing, I think it's up to what we say. I think it's 6 gummies a day. You guys are awesome.
All right. I'm going to just go through the list. So if you're writing it down, it's easier. But again, strength training at least 4 days a week. Infrared sauna use, ice bath, cold plunge, or cold shower. Sunlight in the morning. Walking or movement after meals. Protein, 1 gram per pound of ideal body weight or lean body mass. Again, calculators, you can find them on Google. No seed oils or added sugars. Work out with partner and spouse to help increase relationship and joy.
Love it.
Sense of community.
Yep.
Water with electrolytes first thing in the morning, and daily supplementation. So those are our 11 healthy habits that have changed our life. Right?
I love it. And
yes.
they can change. We might do this again next year and have something different on that list.
Right. And again, take home message, guys. This does not have to be your list. Adopt what you can, and adapt for it to work for you. Right. Again, right. I encourage you today, get a pen and paper and make a list of 11 and fill in yours. And even if they're not healthy habits that you're partaking in, they're goals, right? You need to start. A goal is the first step to getting there. We all have goals. And sometimes when you see it on paper too, it really puts it into perspective.
That was great. Nice way to close. We also love hydrogen water as well.
Yes. Hopefully we can
bring
that to the table too. All right, guys, any further questions, comments, you can go ahead and email me. I have seen some questions on here that weren't really relevant to what we were discussing. So please email them to me. I will get back to you. And as always, tune in with us every Monday at noon.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. See you next time.